hatred that they have not resolved. And this manifests itself in different ways, whether it's disowning a certain part of your heritage and trying to perform blackness, trying to overcompensate, or you have the alternative to this, which is you have these goofballs like the Hodge twins who basically want to pander and suck up to white people and throw black people under the bus for brownie points, allowing themselves to be triangulated against the black community to score points with these white nationalists. And so I think it's only fair that I have smoke for the white nationalists and the white supremacists as well. And I'm not using white supremacists as a slur in this particular case. I do believe the gentleman being interviewed here is a actual white supremacist. He believes that Europeans are superior culturally and in regards to technological development. He believes Europeans are innately superior in some ontological way to non-Europeans or non-whites. And I should only speak for myself, I guess. I have a tendency to fixate on the ways in which black people and fixate on the ways in which the black community kind of undermines and kind of holds mixed race and light-skinned black people to a different standard. There's a double standard there, and there's kind of mistreatment that is normalized, suspicion, in some cases hostility, and I fixate on those issues without giving much time to the opposite side, which is obviously the Anglos. But I think it's good for us to just remind ourselves every once in a while of how insane their racism can be. I mean, their racism, look, let's be real. We know the black nationalists are extremely racist. There's no question about that. The black nationalists, extremely racist. People like Dr. Umar Johnson, Irritated Genie, the list goes on, right? Dr. Umar Johnson is on record calling mixed race people a virus, biracial Africans a virus in the black community. And this is one of the thought leaders in the black consciousness space. He refers to half white, half black people as a virus. Very disturbing stuff. And you'll notice they never say this about people who are half black and half Mexican or half black and half Asian. It's always half black, half white. Very interesting. It's like we are at the center of the attacks. Anytime somebody feels like attacking biracials, it's always mulattoes. Very interesting. Pay close attention to that. They're not attacking Hapas. They're not attacking Blasians. They're not attacking Latinos. They're not attacking people who are white and Latino. They're always attacking mulattoes. Pay very close attention to that. And I find it very interesting. All these white people, these white nationalists who believe in white purity, I find it hysterical how they never call themselves out for being responsible for the majority of race mixing worldwide. Latin America has the largest mixed race population in the world. They're mestizos, European and indigenous. Europeans went there and raped the entire continent and created a whole new race. So it's just extremely ironic. It's like, where's the self-awareness? You're gonna police everybody else, especially black people, and specifically black people, for race mixing, but your race is responsible for the creation of entire new races. You guys are the biggest race mixers on the planet. So if anything, you guys are the bioweapons. They want to say black people are Jewish bioweapons, mixed race people, mulattoes. Let's be very clear, they're talking about mulattoes. We're supposedly bioweapons from the Jews. We exist as this kind of Jewish experiment. And it's like, sir, You are the number one contributor. If there was a control group and an experimental group, Europeans would be in the fucking experimental group and everybody else would be in the control group. You guys are the ones who are experimenting with giving your genes out to the world and raping people. Whether it's in Asia, it's in the Philippines, whether it's in Africa. The British went overseas and raped women in Kenya and in other countries in Africa, had a bunch of mulatto children, never took care of them, ran back to England, left those children in those countries to suffer and starve, alone with no father. But of course, we don't hear a peep about that. We never hear a peep about that. They did the same thing in the Philippines. And here's the funniest part. If you go back to the early 20th century, you have entire advertisements produced by yours truly, Uncle Sam, propaganda campaigns where they were trying to get white men to join the military, and on these little propaganda ads, they had a white man being surrounded by brown Cuban women and brown Filipinas and brown Puerto Ricans jumping onto the white man, kind of to suggest that, you know, worldwide, white men in the US military are loved by all these different women. Propaganda encouraging white men to join the military to have access to brown women. So I just find it hysterical how these people are all about racial purity, all about being anti-race mixing, but it's okay when they do it. They support it when it's white men doing it, but when it's anybody else, it's a fucking problem. If it's white men and black women especially. And that just goes to show these people have no standards. It's totally arbitrary. It's totally arbitrary. It's motivated entirely by resentment and antipathy towards blacks and white women who mate with non-white men, but especially white women who mate with black men. These people are vile, and their hatred knows no bounds. And so it's important to understand that, like, look, while there is issues with the black community and the double standards and the kind of assumption that it is our obligation to be absorbed into their community, into their collective, and assimilate into their culture, and that as mixed race people we have no destiny outside of that, that is a assumption which needs to be challenged and deconstructed and eventually eradicated. It's important to also understand that the racism of these Anglos knows no bounds. I mean, they take racism to a whole new level. They say that we're Jewish experiments, that we're not even human. I mean, horrible, horrible things. They attack the children. You know, at least black people have enough respect to not call you subhuman, to, you know, not insult you by calling you a Jewish experiment or a bioweapon, by not attacking mixed race children. You know, black people have enough respect to not go there. These racist, savage, subhuman, barbaric Angloids are extremely racist in ways you can't even fathom. They take it to a whole new level. So it's important to understand how racist these people can be. Like, they excel at racism. They excel. It's one of the things that they might be the best at. So like I said, it's important to kind of call out both sides. If we're really going to be mulatto first, we got to call out both sides, call a spade a spade. We're calling balls and strikes. You know, we're not just cherry picking. And we have to stand up for ourselves and advocate for ourselves and take control of the narrative, arrest control of the narrative, and defend our integrity in the public sphere, in the public realm. Make our presence known, make our presence felt.